America has a missile problem that money alone cannot solve overnight. Trump has asked Congress for another $87.6 billion, while the Pentagon wants to triple Patriot interceptor production and quadruple THAAD output. At first, the solution sounds obvious: approve the money, place larger orders, and build more missiles. But even if Congress approved every dollar tomorrow, you would not suddenly see thousands of extra interceptors leaving factories next month. The first thing to understand is that the full $87.6 billion is not one giant missile order. The request also covers military operations, classified programs, drones, cyber capabilities, and several non-military programs. About $67.1 billion is tied to military programs. Roughly $21 billion of that is meant for munitions, critical capabilities, and the industrial base behind them. That is still a huge amount of money. So why can't the factories simply speed up? Because the factory at the end of the process is only the last stop in a much longer chain. Take the Patriot PAC-3 MSE. The long-term plan is to raise annual production capacity from roughly 600 interceptors to 2,000. For THAAD, the target is to move from 96 a year to 400. Those are enormous increases, but they are not switches that can be flipped. They depend on new contracts, equipment, production space, suppliers, and workers who still have to be hired and trained. A missile production line is not a printer that runs faster when more money is inserted. The finished weapon depends on rocket motors, guidance electronics, seekers, cables, specialized materials, and many other parts made by different companies. Some of those parts may come from only one or two approved suppliers. If one supplier cannot expand, the main factory cannot simply work around it. And adding a new supplier takes time. The company may need specialized machinery, security procedures, trained staff, certification, and extensive testing before a single component can be used in a combat system. The same problem exists inside the main plants. Lockheed Martin plans to build or modernize more than 20 facilities to support higher munitions output. The THAAD program already uses more than 340,000 square feet of production space and more than 2,000 workers. Expanding that system means construction, tooling, hiring, training, and quality checks before the higher output becomes real. So when officials talk about tripling or quadrupling production, they are talking about a capacity target spread across several years, not an instant jump in the number of missiles being delivered. A new assembly line does not help much if a rocket motor supplier is still stuck at its old capacity. There is also a business problem. Defense companies may see strong demand today, but a new factory can cost billions and take years to pay off. A company will be much more willing to make that investment if it knows government orders will continue long enough to justify it. That is why long-term contracts matter. They give companies a reason to build new facilities, expand suppliers, and train more workers. The administration is pressing contractors to move faster, and the industry is already spending more. Lockheed Martin received a $4.7 billion contract action in April to keep accelerating PAC-3 production. RTX has also announced long-term agreements and factory investments for several missile programs. But an expansion announcement is not the same thing as extra missiles sitting in storage. It means the system may be able to produce more later. A stockpile is what a country can use today. Industrial capacity is how quickly it can replace what it uses tomorrow. A military can begin a conflict with advanced weapons and large reserves. But if those weapons are used faster than factories can replace them, production becomes part of the battlefield. The $87.6 billion request can help pay for operations, replace weapons, and expand capacity. Congress can provide the money. The Pentagon can sign the contracts. Companies can build new production lines. What none of them can do is skip the years needed to make the whole system move faster, and that is what the request is really telling us.